Well, everyone, this is a mission that we're not going to abort. As you can see, my camera's locking onto me like some video game in virtual reality of AR, but we're here for Borderlands, and the update that's going to ensue. As you can see, my notifications are full, but let's go ahead and crack this open like Christmas Day 1.05. Here we go. Oh! Bam! And as you can see, it's gonna copy and download right now. You're looking at about like 2.7 gigabytes, about 60 seconds for me. I have really ridiculous internet, so that's probably not gonna take that long from past there, but let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of fun stuff. As you can see, we have an event, the Blood Harvest, and the free update content as we can kind of see what's going down for as far as the situation, and this is kind of cool. Like, I'm liking the whole portions, the new bosses, there's themed, it's direct. We'll get into the direct patch notes, and that is linked down below, but I figured that some of the people might enjoy this little snippet of what they kind of slipped out there for today. And as the situation might unwind and past that, if you're new to the network, well, welcome. We hope you have pockets of loot because you're going to need it. And as we come down to and more, there is tons and tons of what it's going to offer into the situation between the December 5th. We're going to go ahead and take a peek at the installation, and we're going to take a look at what the actual PlayStation is going to give us for the news, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper for the patch notes for everyone that subscribed to the last note and was looking forward to the future notes. I should break it down to where the actual gaming companies come from, and let's go ahead and take a look real fast. As this boots in, you can see at this point in time, there's some pretty cool arts that you can probably check out directly on the Borderlands, like link that you can see directly above. But check this out. For patch 3, they've added a limited event, as we are already journeying through that, which is the Blood Harvest, the limited event going from the 24th for starting today, going all the way up to the December 5th. During that event, go to the main menu and you will become spooky. And the micro path has been loaded in the event. So, past that point, let's take a look at some of the stabilities that they are fronting in this 0.5 variation of the 1 era of Borderlands. The stability fixes the reports of the results and the crashes when loading the maps, fix the reports of audio crashes, and fix the reports that crash that occur during. For certain users, the level was immediately after throwing a longbow grenade. So if you had the longbow grenade and you were just tossing it like the bolt and trying to run and catch it, and somehow you're just having a crash time, not fast enough. But we fixed the report of the rare crash. I'd like to see what this one directly goes into, that occurred for the certain users after completing missions. Well, missions you say, but well, what the heck is missions? What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. Well, it happened. It's a rare occurrence. So, push past that portion where we fixed our report of the crash of the certain users which are swapping the equipment. So if you're trying to give other people in that actual physical point in time an actual treat of a new loot item, well, no, you wouldn't get able to get it. So now you have fixed that report of crash. Hopefully you can trade with your friends now in a piece. Fix the report where the crash occurred in certain users where the sorting of missions logged by region. So you're no longer regionally rocked. Let's go ahead and take a look at the general fixes. One of the cool things that you look directly into where the Mayhem mode now is available within directly of console only, and then console only adds a photo mode that supports on consoles. Consoles only, which is your Xbox One and PlayStation 4 variants and all that fun stuff of either green or blue. You're adding the Echo Cast of Twitch extension exports for consoles, so very cool because this is be directly, which I've already kind of linked it up with my Twitch at that point in time. And if you guys and gals aren't subscribed to that, well, you can just follow. I don't care if you subscribe. Actually, I forgot. This is like a different following point. You can just follow me. It's free. But like, I do all just gameplay on that. But moving on past that portion of just game, we're looking at the new Vault Hunter customizations and trinkets. That's gonna be tight, and I'm pretty sure like Joel Raptor is probably gonna cover a lot more of the details directly on that. You can probably check him out on his channel if you haven't already. And then adds the ability in specific mayhem modes while in matchmaking. The adjust for the volume in the 2K and the Gearbox logo in the movies. Oh yeah, so now crystal clear audio. And then you address the reports of concerns where some players were missing skill points. Maybe I might just log on and it'll be Christmas Day and I'll just have like 21 new skill points, right? There was a time I didn't think I was getting any. Yeah. But updated the gore stomp and textures for the consistency for October's spooky festival. I think that Vincent Price would be shedding a tear from the grave right now. For the PC only, it improves the reliability of the voice chat, so somehow maybe my voice might sound decent one day. But when the open and close echo menu is on the PC, the PC only modification, which is therefore so typing the text, and it no longer prevents the players from fast traveling. That sucks. Being literate didn't work out well for you for fast traveling. It was, you gotta hoof it now, smarty. Figure that one out. But anyway, singularity grenades will now no longer cause the corpses to float in the air after dying. No! Damn it, that's the only reason I was playing this game. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Borderlands 3. Take away my floating corpses. But all hilarity, so let's get back to the news. Addressed a report and concerns that certain players experience some visual effects for the side missions and before accepting the mission. Holy crapple. Transaction packed. Not very well packed. But looking at past that point and the addressable point and the concerns that players some expressed in the brick getting stuck after chasing enemies off the cliff near Hector. Holy crap. If anyone has that in the Anvil one, please like IM me like or DM me or whatever you can through social media. I would love to see that. That's freaking great. That sounds like it'd be hilarious as hell. But it made modifications in the situation of what they gone past that, where the Amber Lamp no longer has a chance to spawn during the defend bollocks objects of the Family Jewels mission, which was a great one along the Jacob's line of things. It's a sweet mission. And then addresses the reports and the concerns of the legendary grenades, most of the Quansar, where it is not counting towards the optional grenades and objective kills in the slaughter map. That is very true. It's a very hard one to kind of master. It's a great grenade though. And then we look past that portion of what is the PS4 only. I'm sorry, Xbox One and PC. This is addressing me familia right here. All right, family, gather around. All right, let's get this. All right, PS4 addresses a language code issue. I'm sorry, I guess we were speaking a little different in binary. In the PS4 activate feeds and for English. It was no longer English. It's English now. But as now we get down to that portion of passing the addressing concerns which the regions set for Japan were unable to complete the fast travel tutorial. Man, that sucks because this game would be great. They'd be like insanely good at like the death message and stuff. They're like really great like players. I've come across like few through the hours that I stream sometimes, and they're always dominate. Like I'm like, oh my gosh. Very worldly people too. And made a modification so that the safe areas and calibrations now saved when relaunching the game. The cameras no longer resets to the random locations when utilizing the reset camera function in photo mode. The photo mode now forces the exits when the player is in teleported, and the subtitles are now present when joining in other players' game while a cinematic player is basically in play. So if you're running some CG and like your friends joining it, shit's gonna go crazy, but they kind of addressed it. If not, let me know. Drop a comment down below for the community that is watching this. I'm very curious to see what they have to say about what this patch has addressed. Past that, what they have addressed is where quiet and missing the second players in the split screen. So in the concerns and some sounds, they've hopefully fixed that. And as far as the split screen and the UI, they've definitely gone towards that situation. Now looking at the report of the UI and the issue where the Mayhem modification menu would sometimes not appear for certain players. Very well, well, I guess that just sums it up. That's basically what basically happened. So those notes in the 24th of the hotfix, that states the last stream. So basically that's basically it. And we look it down to a little bit more of what we gotten into, the weapons. Now the consumers and the 1 ammo instead of 5. And then the bug fixes. Let's go ahead and get directly inside of this situation as we look farther. So it addresses the reports with the space laser tag, which prevents some players from progressing to the next object. Atomic has been modified to no longer become the Invincible, as has been reported under certain conditions. The modified powerhouse heavy attacks to no longer damage the players outside of the intended range, addresses the concerns from the projects and the shields where talking too much damage from the general turret's attack, fixed the report of the floating doors and the frames in the Jacobs Theater, addressing the reports and the potential progress in the blockers where the Rye talkers during the hostile takeover, increasing the checkpoints size of the new U station in the multiple locations, and the included modifications to the Zan Digi clone will no longer spawn into this cage in the Slaughterhouse 3000, unfortunately. Those are a lot of the notes and basically what they had to Borderlands 3 and what they've launched up and what you'll be launching up. And then we're looking at basically the implication of the performance and the actual stable points of what we'll be getting into, because resolution mode and performance mode was your only one you could go to, like on console. You really couldn't do it, even on the PlayStation 4 5. Would be even struggling. You know, it's like the 4 to 5, maybe. I mean, maybe 5 might be a little bit more comparable, but we still got some, you know, running ground before that launches. But it'll be a fun game to be ported over, I'm sure they'll probably do. But looking at past that of what we'll hopefully be seeing 124 frames a second, if everything is what rumored is going around for the PlayStation 5. And there's really great stuff about Scarlet too and Lockhart. I mean, great console war. I'm excited to see. And like, if you're watching this and you've gotten this far, what console are you buying in the next generation of systems? I'm curious. Past that performance, the expanded has been the most consecrated request in the feature in the community. We've heard you loud and clear, and the groundwork for expanding the bank has already started. For the first several planned expansions, we will consider to be released the takedown at the Melwalk Black site, expecting a significant bank expansion that will more doubt the existing space. Additional expansions to the bank will continue to roll out in future releases, so you can definitely continue to bank on that situation as in being a rolling point of what they're going to be rolling out with more stuff. Now remember, what I talked about in the stability and all this stuff, there's a big point of where it's upcoming. I just want to point that out. But they're getting to it. There might be some general ones in this, but it's still performance in a lot of people's case. And the dedicated loot pools for the bosses, the several of you, as they kind of probably shake their fists, have stated a desire to find more gear easily in the game. To do what are you updating the loot pools? The data determines what's in the game items drops to ensure that more specific gear drops from the bosses. That means you will be able to go to specific bosses to get specific gear to loot your way to the top that you're looking for. But where you're walking in the which of the bosses, you get gear right now to expect. So maybe sure that you pick them out like a wild card. They're gonna basically be suited to whatever that boss may be. So be ready for the next November patch, past the Harvest Fest, what they're basically interluding into. And then the character buffs. Now there's going to be some, what the flock? Oh no, we're just getting some flack beat down over here in the latest stage of the game. The Mayhem mode is in the active, and we've found that the players and the companions in the situations of the Iron Bear Flux pets, and in the situation of what the Zane's Digiclones are reportedly no performing as well as we had expected. So it basically it flopped as shit. So as looking at that portion past and what it pushed into is the address this. We've looked into an adjust damage according to Lee, and this is the character I'm like basically playing. That's why I'm just like skimming through it. I'm like, I really don't want to read this because I have to read my character's demise or triumphant return into the relevant skills in the gear, maybe. But push past that point. The goal here is to make sure that we have as many visible character builds as possible, and I appreciate that. As looking past the point in Mayhem in the levels of what they've gotten into, the 2.0 and the Mayhem mode is in the fantastic addition to the Borderlands world. After receiving some of the great community feedback, they have come to a conclusion of reamping that will introduce a host of improvements over the server's upcoming updates. So these are kind of interleading to what they're basically getting down. The first update will be released as the takedown that they kind of basically gotten down to. And it looks like it's basically going down to the same portion where they're getting down to new challenges, rolling out into the situation, UI supports into the 2.0, vending machines, where Marcus herds the outcry in the vending machine, so you can basically airdrop in some more across multiple maps, which expecting ammos, and that's kind of really cool in the situation as you're looking at like this layout of like guidelines that's basically listed right here, as you can see. So basically looking past that, the skippable cinematics, we've basically looking into a situation where you can actually cut this cutscenes. That's much easier said than done. Understood. Basically Under the Hood is active, it's critical based on the cinematics. So basically they're trying to cut out a valuable portion of the game, and it's causing bugs. So they're gonna get to that game solution. And then the targeted dummies. Interesting. It needed easy for the ways to test your gear. We're going to add a targeted dummy to shoot in the range, the Sanctuary 3. We'd feel that this is the best location since your bank is also on the ship. That actually really does make sense. That's really cool. Then they made the ship go home like thing really cooler. Looking past that portion of what you manage your builds in the Sanctuary 3 without having to travel anywhere else, which is expected in December in the future updates. And man, they're really giving us like what they're going to interlude into in the future, what they're listing and above, and the higher looks of what Borderlands 3 basically. Okay, stay tuned. Yeah, that's it. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for staying tuned for the last about 17 minutes, and I appreciate your time. And as we all update into that flurry of information, if you have any issues in this performance point, PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, definitely drop a comment down below. You'll have to forgive my raspy voice. There's a lot of fires in my area. That's pretty much why like my eyes are like kind of like a little bit more in the portion of just irritated. Just air quality issues. But looking at past that portion of where we can push forward into the point of patch notes, if you subscribe today, I will put on the Cape Crusader situation of Spider-Man and take to the streets to be a vigilante. No, not really. Actually, that'd probably give me a lot of trouble. But I don't know, you'd have to subscribe to find out. But all humor aside, thank you so much for staying tuned for the Borderlands update of the 1.05. I appreciate all the support and the time that you've spent into the networking. And I will see you guys and gals in the near future for more awesome news on what's going on and what's changing as we mail over the physical updates. There's a lot of other stuff that goes in between. I know that like there are a lot of other great creators, like I think Joe Raptor like keeps up on this stuff like really great. Like he's always on top of this stuff. But I'll see you guys and gals in the near future for more information. Stay classy. I'll see you guys and gals later.